Hello, today I'm going to be making a speech about how we in South Miami can build a building that can survive rising sea levels while also being environmentally friendly over the next 100 years. Now, according to some estimates, South Florida will be inundated by perhaps up to 10 feet of water over this coming century. Now, as an architecture student at Florida International University, and as somebody who has studied the impacts of climate change and rising sea levels on our local community here in Miami, I am deeply worried about the impacts that rising seas and climate change will have on us here in Miami, and what future Miami has, if any, due to these rising seas. Now, as fellow residents of Miami and other communities that will be deeply impacted by things such as rising sea levels, we should all be worried about what future our communities can have so that they can survive and thrive in a future of climate change and things such as rising sea levels. And if not for yourself, at least for your children. Now, rising sea levels are going to displace many peoples in low-lying areas of Miami. In fact, there are areas of Miami that are only some 2 to 3 feet above sea levels, mostly found around Homestead and Florida cities and parts of Miami Beach. And the highest points of Miami-Dade County are only some 9 feet above sea levels, these areas being downtown Miami and Overtown. And actually, Miami-Dade County has more people living 4 feet or less above sea level than any other state in the United States other than the state of Louisiana. So this is a very important issue for us here in Miami. Now here you can see our proposed building site in South Miami and how it will look like under 7 feet of water, under 8 feet, under 9 feet, and finally 10 feet. Now another issue for us here in Miami is the population increases are going to require more and more buildings for housing, residence, and commercial space. Between the year 2010 and 2018, Miami-Dade County had a new population increase of 260,000 residents, increasing the total population for Miami-Dade County to 2.7 million people, making Miami-Dade County the 7th largest county in terms of population in the nation. Now, as you can see, this proposed building for South Miami will be elevated from the ground and created in such a way as to fit in with the current community of South Miami. And not such a current community, but also the future community over this coming century. The building is proposed to help deal with rising sea levels while also being tied to the nearby metro rail system. This is going to allow residents to quickly travel throughout the county and not help increase pollution themselves by having to drive, so they can just take the train. This helps reduce carbon pollution. Another thing we have considered is how to construct this building in such a way so the building itself is environmentally friendly during its construction process, because one problem with buildings is that actually making the building creates an enormous amount of pollution. This is due to the materials, especially concrete, which has to be dug and processed in such a way that it uses up a lot of water and creates a lot of pollution during its construction process. So this building is being made with more carbon-friendly concrete that uses less energy than regular concrete. The building also is going to have, as you can see, a green roof system. This green roof is going to help mitigate the effects of solar radiation on the building. Solar heat will be hitting the green roof, and the green roof will be absorbing this heat. And due to this, the building is going to need less energy for cooling itself, helping reduce carbon emissions. This is done so we don't help continue polluting the environment while constructing or occupying this building. Now, a proposition like this one and others like it need to start being thought about and being made now, and before it is too late and too costly. Because if we don't do this little by little over this next century, by the time the sea levels actually rise and start displacing people, it's going to be too late or simply too costly to replace all the buildings and rehouse and move people all over Miami-Dade County or South Florida in general. So I hope we have understand why buildings like this one and others like it are a necessity for us for South Miami. Thank you.